What do you think are the three biggest mistakes that people make when trying to raise capital? Hi, I'm attorney Sam Smith, and I represent clients who are raising capital through real estate syndications or through fund formation or just general business transactions. And I'm here to tell you what the three biggest mistakes are that people make and the things you can do to avoid those mistakes. So first off, the biggest mistake that I see people make is in their documentation. So a lot of times people will prepare some kind of an investor presentation and they'll go out to pitch their investors with just an investor presentation and maybe a few legal contracts to help, sell shares in their company or whatever. But what they're missing is what's called a private placement memorandum or a PPM. PPM is basically a disclosure document that tells your investors everything they need to know to invest in your deal. But the reason why it's really important is because whenever you're selling securities or raising capital through the selling of shares in your company, you need to have some kind of document to show that you have complied with the federal and state regulations related to raising capital. And your PPM provides all of that. Not only that though, it provides a measure of liability protection because you have a document that your investors are signing that they've received it and that everything you disclose to them is contained in that agreement. So they can't later come back and say, oh, well, you told me the projections were going to be, 56 IRR or something different than what was actually disclosed. So it protects you if you're raising capital to have a PPM, plus it helps you to comply with the federal and state securities regulations. Now, the solution to this problem is obviously get a PPM when you're raising capital. But to do that, you need to retain a lawyer that's a securities lawyer, not just a general transactional lawyer, but a securities lawyer because one of the differences is not only do they have specialized training in securities, but they also carry malpractice insurance for securities transactions. And most attorneys don't carry that kind of liability insurance. Okay, the second mistake that I see people make, and it's an easy one to avoid, but is raising capital from non-accredited investors. So these are like your friends, your family. These are people who know you're doing a deal and they want to get in on a piece of it or something like that, but they've never really done a deal before. They don't really have high net worth or, their income level isn't super high. They've just saved up some money to do an investment. These people, I don't want to be discriminatory against these kinds of investors, but in general, you're putting at risk their entire retirement savings, and you don't want to be the one doing that. They're going to be a lot more nervous about everything that happens in your deal. They're going to be the first ones to complain if the economy changes directions. They're also going to be the first ones to sue you if your projections don't match what they were expecting. So the solution there is just make sure that you vet your investors, make sure that they're accredited investors, that they have high net worth, they've invested in these kinds of deals before, or they have, a good level of income. Okay, the third mistake that I see people make is hiring what are called finders to help them raise capital and paying them a commission. Now, there's a lot of information on the internet that says that this is okay, but it's not. It's against federal and state securities laws. You'll hear about these loopholes, and there are a lot of businesses out there that their prime function is helping people like you raise capital, and they want a percentage. Unless they're registered broker-dealers, they're not allowed to do that. And if you're going to raise capital by using some kind of a finder, make sure that they're part of your team and they're part of the GP or the promote team so that they can be paid from the promote or whatever the fees are that you're charging for the deal, not just paying them a separate commission. So that's an easy one to avoid if you know what you're doing. So if you have any questions, if you're raising capital right now and you want to shoot me some questions, put it in the comments. I'll try and answer your questions. If I can't answer your questions, I can direct you towards someone who can answer your questions. So, thanks.